Thank you for listening to the Show the Art podcast. Welcome, people. Today it's just me. My partner in crime, Ames, is he's busy. He's working out. He's doing something productive with his life. So it's just me. I'm just gonna do a quick recap for you guys. Give you my thoughts on the fights. Give you my thoughts on life, and give you something to look forward to coming next week or the week after. So. First off, I just want to say, if you haven't already, go watch Dave Chappelle's new stand-up special on Netflix. In fact, go back and watch all of his stand-up specials. He now has 3 on Netflix, exclusively on Netflix. But I watched the latest one. Happy New Year, by the way. This one came out New Year's Eve. It was very, very, very funny. Dave Chappelle is a stand-up comedy genius. Anyway, UFC just passed. Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg, Women's Featherweight Championship. I thought it was a great fight, very technical fight. I think the problem is Holly she doesn't really have that killer instinct. And sure, she's knocked people out. She's finished people. I'm not saying she can't finish people. But she doesn't have the killer instinct to just say, hey, I got to change my game plan up, and I might have to plant my feet a little and throw some bombs. Holly fights the way she fights, and that's great. I'm not saying she should be reckless. I just don't feel that there is that killer instinct. And sometimes that killer instinct makes you change up your game plan. If it's not working over the course of a few fights, you switch your style up. Maybe you need to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe you need to be less aggressive. I don't know. But the killer instinct in you will change your game plan so that you can do what? Win the fight. Finish the fight. Like, indecisively win the fight. Whether it may be a submission or a knockout or even a decision win. If you are decisively winning this fight, even if it's by decision, it shows that there's a killer instinct. You're trying to win. And sometimes I feel like her fighting style doesn't look like she's trying to finish the fight, I don't know. I think also Cyborg is a very game opponent. She's very aggressive. She didn't show a very aggressive side this fight because Holly is a mover and shaker. So it was a good game plan. But Cyborg's very powerful. And what I like is the last few fights, I would say even the last 2 years, she's been very tactical, very methodical about her striking. I would guess credit to Jason Perillo, her boxing coach. But, she's really calmed down from being that Cyborg mauler, brawler, run at you and just overwhelm you with barrages and power, to someone who's very tactical now, who knows how to strategize, who knows how to move her head, who knows how to set you up with strikes, who knows how to pick you apart. She showed that, and she's a very, very, very good striker. I mean, she outstruck Holly, and Holly's a very talented striker. I mean, Holly was a pro boxer. To beat Holly in the stand-up realm is a big deal. So I think all credit goes to Cyborg, but I believe Holly needs a little bit more killer instinct. She needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Side kicks to the belly, it's not going to knock somebody out. It's going to set somebody up for something, or keep the distance, but it's not going to knock somebody out. I think she needs to add a few more killer moves to her arsenal. Let's put it that way. Again, Cyborg retained her title. She's still the featherweight champ. Now there's no question, even though there never was a question about it. And beautiful game plan. She waited for Holly to come in, and every time Holly came in, she moved her head and threw a nice, powerful combination that would hurt Holly quite often. So all credit to Cyborg. Now, the fight right before that, co-main event, this guy has a killer instinct, and that was Khabib Nurmagomedov. This was Khabib's fight against Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza is a killer instinct guy too. The guy knows how to finish fights. Super explosive, super powerful striker, really fast, really good dexterity in his kicks, very accurate with his strikes, whether it may be a kick or a punch. Knows how to set people up, is very tactical. Edson Barboza is one of the top strikers in the world, especially in the UFC. And he went against Khabib, who's one of the best grapplers in the world. Khabib is so good at mauling people when it comes to grappling that it really nullifies your striking game. I mean, the fight started with Edson stepping on the gas pedal and really trying to just move and hit Khabib. And Khabib was just chasing him down, throwing bombs, and going for takedowns. And eventually that wears on you as the defender, as the guy trying to stop the takedown, that eventually the strikes of the guy who's wrestling you start landing. And you're like, whoa, is Khabib outstriking Edson Barboza? Is he going to knock Edson Barboza out? I'm not saying it ever came that close, but he landed a lot of good shots against Edson while they were standing up to set up takedowns. And that's the dangers of a good wrestler, of a brave wrestler. And Khabib showed that. Khabib really tried to finish that fight. Edson Barboza is a tough dude. That's why he couldn't finish it. Edson has good grappling, so he was able to defend submission attempts, or even stop them from even happening. So, all credit to Khabib. Where does he go from here? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Where did I say where does he? I meant Khabib. Where does Khabib go from here? I think he fights the winner of Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor. Honestly. Or if Conor McGregor doesn't come back and fight, whether it may be Tony or doesn't come back and fight in the weight class, or doesn't come back and fight, period, I guess the championship fight is Tony Ferguson, Khabib. That's it. I mean, an interesting matchup. I know he's a little big for him, but this would be a great one. Two of the best wrestlers out there, two of the best grapplers out there in MMA. Khabib Nurmagomedov super fight against Ben Askren. Ben Askren, get him to the UFC. Make him fight another really top-notch wrestler and have him fight Khabib. And then if he beats Khabib, fuck it. He could fight for the belt. I don't care who it is. If he beats Khabib, he can be a star in the UFC because Khabib is such a big name now. And, it'll prove that he's just a very, very, very talented fighter. I think if he fights Khabib, he has a very good chance of winning. Granted, he's bigger than him, but Khabib is game, man. He'll fight anybody. But anyway, that's a pipe dream that probably will not happen. But I think Khabib, his next fight has to be for a belt. Doesn't matter who it is against. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Even if he has to wait 6-7 months, I think his next fight is for the belt. It has to be. I mean, he's mauling people, 25-0. Who else is he going to fight? Yeah, so that was the UFC that just passed. UFC Fight Night coming up. This one's a very interesting one. It's headlined behind one Jeremy Stevens, not Cub Swanson, and one Doohoo Choi. What an excellent, excellent fight. Doohoo Choi fought Cub Swanson in one of the best fights we've ever seen in our lives. But now he's fighting Jeremy Stevens. Two fun strikers, two guys that go for the kill, two guys that, they know how to knock people out. It would be very difficult to see this fight not ending in a knockout. But it has to be a good fight. I mean, it has to be. Now, if Jeremy Stevens wins, he's one step closer to title contendership. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He's beat a lot of good guys. He is very good, very talented. People know him. I think if he beats a guy like Doohoo, who's become very popular, I think that could catapult him into the title picture, especially since that weight class is a little, there's room now that Jose Aldo has lost twice to the champ. So there's room. The skies have cleared up. New contenders can arise. And if he beats him, that's that's catapulting him. And the same goes for Do Hu. If Do Hu wins, they want to give him a title shot. I mean, he's very popular in his country. He's become very popular in America, I think, as far as UFC fans are concerned. He's a very exciting striker. He goes for the knockout. He's got that young boy look. It's just an interesting look. Like, you could play a lot of different roles for him, a lot of different characters. So I think either guy wins, they get into that title picture, maybe a number 2 slot, maybe a number 3 slot. The co-main event, very interesting one. I don't know what's going on with this one, but it is the return of Uriah Hall, dynamic striker, one of the most fun guys to watch, against the old lion, Vitor Belfort. Long live the old lion, Vitor Belfort. I don't know why they made this fight. I guess Vitor wanted it. Why would Uriah accept it? I guess so that he can say he beat Vitor, who's a legend in the game. I don't think it holds a lot of weight if you beat Vitor of 2017, now 2018. If you beat Vitor of 2001, we have a story. If you beat Vitor of 2005, we have something. But 2018, Vitor, I don't know. He's not the same guy. No offense to him. I mean, he looked very good in his last fight. He looked a lot better than we have seen him in a long time. And but against Uriah Hall, the guy's young, way more explosive, probably bigger than you, a lot more energy. And Uriah Hall's trying to knock people out these days. I don't know how well that can go for Vitor. I'd be very surprised if he comes out of the first round with that one. But props to Vitor for taking that fight. Shit. Let's see what else we got. There was one more fight. Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, versus the Norwegian Emil Meek, or Mech, or whatever you want to call him. Both guys, very good strikers, very powerful strikers. This is going to be a barn burner. I don't know who's going to win this one, but it's going to be a fun fight to watch. Kamaru coming off a win against, I think, Sergio Moraes. I believe so. Don't quote me on that one. But he beat some Brazilian. I believe it was Moraes. And just housed them. Just housed them. And the scariest part is when he knocked him out, he ran to the camera and just started yelling, "I'm a problem." And I felt it. He's a problem. He's a problem in that weight class. That's the 170 welterweight class. I mean, Kamaru can fight anybody right now, and he has a chance of beating them. I don't care if you're talking about Dos Anjos, Robbie Lawler, even the champ Tyron Woodley. I mean, no disrespect to any of those guys, but Kamaru can hang with any of those guys. Let's just put it that way. And then Emil Mech, the guy, he's not very popular. I believe he's had only one fight in the UFC. But, man, if you watch his fights from past, the guy's talented. Very powerful, very good striker, very knowledgeable of the game. And he's another guy that's going to be a rising star. He's another guy that can hang with a lot of guys at 170. If I had to tip my hat to somebody, if I had to push the scale in one direction in this fight, I would have to go with Kamaru. But who knows, man? Who knows? All these fights are going to be really, really good. We have Darren Elkins versus Michael Johnson. That's going to be a very good fight. It would be good to see Michael Johnson get back on the right foot. Michael Johnson, man, the guy gets all the tough fights. Granted, every fight is tough in the UFC, but poor guy. The guy has the hardest lineup, the hardest schedule in MMA. Just one guy, the best guy after the best guy after the best guy he has to fight. And but props to him, man. He's still gained opponent. I mean, the guy went from fighting Khabib to Justin Gaethje. Like, what the hell? Poor guy. But he's still a very talented fighter. I really like him. I mean, his fight against Nate Diaz, I know he lost, but he was chipping him up. His fight against Khabib, he lost, but he was chipping him up. Like, the guy is talented. He just needs, I don't know. He just needs to find himself, maybe work on a few things. Definitely his grappling needs to be worked on a little bit more. But his time will come. So, that's it for those fights. It's going to be a good one. 2018 is going to be a good one. I'm doing this podcast from my car because I have to go run some errands, but I hope it's clear and I hope you guys enjoy it. Shout out to all our sponsors. Shout out to Mod Cup Coffee. Go to modcup.com, type in the coupon code Show the Art, and purchase any number of their super high quality, super fresh, freshly roasted coffee beans. I can't stress the importance of the taste of fresh coffee. And just do this test. Go to any coffee house, go to any supermarket, pick up a bag of coffee that you find, specifically maybe coffee beans that you find, and look at the roast date, if there even is one. And most likely they won't put the roast date on there because it's probably been roasted far long ago. But if they do put it on there, check what the date is. If it's more than 18 days, if it's more than 20 days, if it's more than 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, that's not fresh coffee. Coffee really only has a fresh date after like 18 days. After that, it's starting to get stale. So Mod Cup, every bag of coffee you get from them is within that window, and they throw it away if it goes past that window. But they don't have to throw it away because people buy it because it's really good coffee. They also have this chocolate on there, the Cascara chocolate. It's basically the fruit of the coffee bean that's dried off. It's very sweet. They grind it up. They put it in, mix it in with their blend of chocolate, and they made a chocolate bar out of it. It's a fruity taste. If you kind of like hibiscus, it's similar to that. It's a great blend with chocolate. I really like it. Type in the coupon code Show the Art and save money on all those great products. Also go to Inverted Gear, invertedgear.com. Type in the coupon code Show the Art 15. Save yourself money on any number of their rash guards, gis. They still got some more left of our Show the Art rash guard. With that coupon code, you save good money. And then lastly, go to vapebright.org. Vapebright, they sell CBD oil. It's organic, 100%. A lot of athletes are starting to use it right now. Specifically, a famous one is Nate Diaz for smoking CBD right after his fight, I believe with Conor McGregor. Yeah, it had to be with Conor McGregor. And it's said to help with reducing inflammation. It can help calm you down a little bit, but it's very good for inflammation. I take it. I believe it does help me. I mean, I live a very healthy lifestyle, but I try to do all that I can to take care of my body. And CBD oil, especially this one, has damn near zero THC. There we go. Anything that'll get you high, you're not going to get high from taking it. It's just a supplement that'll help you. Their prices are even lower now, but type in the coupon code Show the Art and save good money on that. And of course, lastly, give us a like on iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. It really goes a long way. Thank you so much. We out.